During my freshman year of college, I had a job. Well, technically, it was a job. I'm not really sure anything that requires you to report for work at 4 a.m. in the morning as a freshman in college should legally have been called a job, but that's what they called it. So I worked an early morning janitorial shift from 4 to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. 3 hours. Then I would head back to my dorm, change clothes, eat breakfast, and begin my day as a college student. Oh, it was a wonderful arrangement if you didn't really care about sleep, but the problem is I did. And on the other end of it, you would want to do social stuff, like, hang out with friends, see late movies, order pizza super late. Sometimes I wouldn't get to bed until 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I would have to get up and be ready to work starting at 4. So I cared about sleep very, very much. But I also needed the job. So each morning, while most of the campus was still sleeping peacefully, I wandered off into the darkness to clean things. And because I was a freshman, and because I was new, and because there apparently exists some sort of unspoken hierarchy among janitorial assignments, I found myself this particular morning being assigned to clean the showers. And I worked in the athletic facility, so these weren't just normal showers. These were showers that were kind of yucky. And I'm pretty sure this was not considered one of the premier assignments. I mean, nobody was saying, "Congratulations, Ammons, you've been promoted to the showers." No, this was where great janitorial careers began. At the bottom, with a mop. This morning, however, I was introduced to a new piece of equipment. Not your run-of-the-mill mop. No way. This was a commercial floor cleaning machine. You've probably seen them. It has a large circular cleaning pad on the bottom, a motor, and a long handle extending upward with handlebars at the top that had these kind of flipper things. Well, someone explained that I was supposed to use it to clean the shower floors. Okay, that seemed simple enough. I was 18 years old. I'd used a vacuum cleaner. I'd used a lawn mower. I'd had experience with appliances. How different could this be? I mean, really. Well, quite different, as it turns out. There was one piece of information that might have been useful before I began. The large circular pad on the bottom spins very fast. And when it does, the machine moves according to how you position the handle and how you use these flipper things. A small adjustment one direction causes the machine to move that way. And a small adjustment the other direction causes it to move in another direction. Well, once you understand how to do this, I'm told the machine is really super easy to operate. I did not understand how to do this. Not even a little. Nevertheless, I positioned the machine on the shower floor. And of course, assuming, as any normal person would, that the floor actually needed to be wet to clean it, I got the floor good and wet. And for good measure, I added some liquid cleaning detergent. I took hold of the handle, and I flipped it on. Things happened immediately. The machine shot sideways, and so did I. I pulled on the handle. This produced another result. Not the result I wanted, but definitely another result. I pushed the handle. Another result. I tried using the handle flippers, thinking they might be brakes. They were not brakes. They caused an entirely different process to go into motion. Within seconds, I had completely lost track of which movement of the handle and flippers caused which movement of the machine. Up it went, down, left, right. None of those words seemed to have any relevance anymore. There was only movement. Lots and lots of movement. At some point, I realized my feet were no longer making consistent contact with the floor. Now, this complicates matters. Remember, we were in a shower. The floor was wet. There was cleaning solution involved. And I was holding on to a powerful rotating machine that I had absolutely no idea how to operate. I'm sure there was a way to turn it off. In retrospect, that probably would have been useful information too. I slipped. I went down. The machine continued doing whatever it was doing. Somehow I managed to get back up. For a moment, then I went down again. At some point, I was no longer entirely certain whether I was cleaning the shower floor or whether the shower floor was cleaning me. I just remember being pulled in one direction, then another, then spinning. There was water everywhere, cleaning solution everywhere. And apparently the machine and I had expanded the scope of the assignment, because portions of the shower walls were now getting cleaned as well. I wish someone had recorded it. Oh, no, actually, no, I don't. But I imagine that from a distance it would have looked something like an instructional film entitled How Not to Use Commercial Cleaning Equipment. There would be no narration, of course. None would be necessary. Well, eventually I discovered something important. If you're lying on a wet shower floor while holding on to a rotating floor cleaner, you become part of the cleaning process. I wasn't operating the machine anymore. I was an accessory. I was a large human cleaning attachment. And so, for some portion of that very early morning, the athletic facility showers were cleaned partly by a commercial floor machine and partly by an 18-year-old freshman spinning around on the floor like a giant mop. Now, I can't tell you exactly how long this lasted. Time kind of behaves strangely under certain circumstances. But eventually, everything stopped. I figured out how to turn it off. The machine was off. It had stopped spinning. There was no more water flying all over the place or suds anywhere. And I was still alive. And the showers were technically cleaner than when I had started. So, mission accomplished, I guess. Well, no one witnessed the actual event, and I will always be grateful for that. But someone did see me afterward. I emerged from the shower area, soaked, battered, bruised. My clothes were wet, my hair was wet. I looked as though my 3-hour janitorial shift had somehow included an unscheduled water sport. I carefully wound the long cord up neatly and attached it to the floor cleaner because apparently, after everything that had just happened, I really didn't want to draw any unnecessary attention to myself. But the person who had seen me looked at me with a bemused look on their face. I looked at them, and there really wasn't much to say. So I said the only thing that seemed appropriate. Don't ask. And kept walking. Well, this has been Saturday Stories from the Quiet Between. I'm Mark Ammons, no longer wet and bedraggled, but I hope something makes you laugh this weekend. And if someone ever hands you a commercial floor cleaning machine at 4 o'clock in the morning, just say no.